Hello and welcome to another Dragonstorm Studios video. So I realized the other day that this channel has been around for nearly 2 years. And I haven't drawn Johnny Depp yet. Now, I'm not going to pretend that I am the ultimate Johnny Depp fan. Growing up, I knew of him, having seen the odd episode of 21 Jump Street, and I knew of Edward Scissorhands, even if it wasn't for me, much like Ed Wood, Don Juan DeMarco, What's Eating Gilbert Grape. They just weren't my films when I was a kid growing up. Now, just like in the David Tennant video from a couple of weeks ago, I couldn't bring myself to draw Depp as Jack Sparrow. Not only did I do that back in the 2000s when there were only 3 pirate movies, but it's too expected. I wanted to draw him in another role. It actually makes me wish I had done this back in October, but I hit upon Sleepy Hollow as a movie that I have in my DVD collection, but which I don't watch too often, which is rare. Most of the movies I own are viewed frequently. They are my go-tos when I need inspiration or a distraction. But this one, it's different. Maybe it's the lack of color or the atypical protagonist, but it isn't a movie I think of when selecting a title to throw on. In saying that, when I watch it, I am always sucked right into the world and setting in a way that only Tim Burton can achieve. The acting, the costumes, the practical effects help to immerse me into the film. The CGI effects are, well, not great, even for 1999, which was the same year that brought us The Phantom Menace and the first Mummy movie. The first new Mummy movie. A Mummy movie. In Sleepy Hollow, Depp plays Icabod Crane as sympathetic and vulnerable, hardly an action star, but also not pathetic like in the cartoon. He's a man of science in his investigations. It actually makes me think of like a CSI New York upstate version. Before 2003, this was my favorite Johnny Depp film. Then came Pirates of the Caribbean. And now that I think about it, that was only a title held for 4 years. I may need to revisit this portrait. But let's talk about the drawing. So you have seen working on facial features before, so we're going to take up the narrative here with some of the shading and darker areas. And the hair is a great place to start. Mr. Depp has got some incredible hair in this movie. He's very young in this movie too. I'd forgotten how young he looked. It's incredible. Having seen him grow up as Jack Sparrow recently, it makes a big difference. The clothing in the film, as mentioned, is very, very impressive, but certainly Mr. Depp's character, Icabod Crane, is wearing lots of dark, and we're going to be seeing lots of that. I'll do some jump cuts to get through a lot of that tedium, certainly. The shading on the hand is interesting as well, because the angle and the way his hand is being held, the angle and the pose he's got, you've got some great shading on and around the hand, fingers, thumb, etc., to make some really interesting effects, and the folds in the skin are really emphasized that way. When it comes to the face, we're going to have a lot of detail on the cheeks, the forehead, the nose, certainly. The goggles create an interesting conundrum because there's a lot of shading you don't often get around those goggles on the cheekbone and the nose as well. So that was very interesting to work on. One thing I have always struggled with is fabric, and the cravat he's wearing on his neck here gave me a lot of difficulty. You can see me pausing every now and then to try and get my bearings on the picture. I jump cut a lot here as well because I spent a lot of time just going back and forth trying to get the different folds in there. I find the same thing with bed sheets. So here, with all of the darkness, you can see there's the page is curling. So I just use these little paper clips to help hold the page down, not only for the filming, but also just for the sake of my sanity, so I'm trying to work around it. Glass bottles, lots of reflections on them, so I'm using a 3H pencil. I'm just kind of outlining where those reflections are in the glass. And I did look up some pictures online of glass bottles just to help me figure out where some of those reflections would be. But this was also an interesting challenge, and one which I had a lot of fun doing. And as a final challenge for today, we're going to be doing a rubbing of this wastebasket to create the container's texture for Icabod's alchemical products here. And I think I need something flatter in the future, but this was an interesting acrobatic challenge. So I hope you enjoyed watching that drawing come to fruition. I'm just doing a background here to help fill some of that space. I've got that wonderful mountain range and a moon just to create that atmosphere for Sleepy Hollow. So thanks for watching. Hope you have a fantastic day, everyone, and we'll see you next time.